Hello, and welcome to this week's Faith to Conquer Fear Inspirational Moments with me, Christy Demetrakis. I'm the author of Faith to Conquer Fear, Inspiration to Achieve Your Dreams, and Faith to Conquer Fear, The Journey. So today, I want to talk about something hot in the news, and I want to talk about the term, just do it. Now, I can't talk about just do it without giving credit to the company who coined the phrase, just do it. Nike. Nike, if you've watched the news at all, they have been all over the news this past week for a new ad campaign. And the new ad campaign is with Colin Kaepernick. And for those of you who may have forgotten, I don't know how you could have, but Colin Kaepernick is the quarterback who a couple of years ago took a knee just before an NFL game to protest the way that minorities are treated within this country. And from that one act, the country just went into complete turmoil and decided, there's two schools of thought as to whether he should have taken a knee or whether that was the right place for him to protest. Should he have protested? All manner of things. People more focused on whether NFL players should actually take a knee rather than discussing the topic that he's actually protesting in the first place. But anyway, so he took a knee. And so for the last 2 years, Colin Kaepernick has not been picked up by any NFL team because they've decided that they didn't want to be associated with the Colin Kaepernick brand, whatever they believe that brand to be. Nike, this is where Nike comes in because Nike has been endorsing Colin Kaepernick for a while. And all the while, over these last 2 years, while the world has been protesting what Colin Kaepernick made a decision to do and what other NFL players followed doing, while that has been happening, they never dropped him as a client. Now, we've watched athletes and famous people get dropped by businesses left and right if they do something wrong, if they do something that they believe is off equity or is going to hurt their brand. They drop them. But Nike made a decision. They made a choice to stand with Colin Kaepernick. Doesn't mean they necessarily support his views, but they did not believe that continuing to keep him as a client would hurt them. And here's what we noticed over last week. So this ad campaign came out, and the ad campaign basically says, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it word for word, but it says something to the effect of, just do it, even when it means sacrificing everything. And I thought that was so powerful. It's a very powerful campaign. Now, what it doesn't say is that they support him or not. But what it says is just doing it requires sometimes major sacrifice. Here's what I want you to think about today during our inspirational moments. Put yourself in the mindset or in the shoes of Colin Kaepernick for just a moment. You've decided to make a stand and protest this thing that is very important to you. Do you believe, and I don't know, he may have said this or not, but do you believe that he knew when he did it that it would get the amount of press and cause all the disruption in his life and in the NFL that it did? Don't know if he thought about it or not. But once it happened, and clearly it became a big deal, he had lots of opportunities to renege. From a financial perspective, huge financial impact to him and his family because no NFL team has picked him up. We're talking millions of dollars that he has lost because of that one act. Yet he has not wavered. He had many opportunities to be very afraid because people get really serious about this NFL thing, right? So he had opportunities to go back on what he did, to change his mind, or to at least publicly change his mind. I'm sure at some point, he's a human, so he had to at some point go, my God, what just happened? I didn't expect this to get as big as it is. And in some cases, I'm sure he's probably saying, great, I'm glad it's getting the publicity. That was my intent. So if you put yourself in his mindset, fear could have definitely set in for him. He could have let the financial piece make a huge, decide what he was going to continue to stand for and believe. But he didn't change. He didn't waver. Now let's put ourselves in the shoes of Nike. Nike is a huge multi-billion-dollar company. And their job, their whole platform is based on great athletes that they endorse, because people honor those athletes and they idolize those athletes, they then buy Nike. So they can't afford to have someone on their roster that gives them bad press and a bad image. But despite the backlash that was happening with Colin Kaepernick in the industry and across America, they also stood firm. So what I hope you're getting from this week is not so much what people are getting caught up in, because we have, the first day that this ad campaign came out, again, if you watch the news, you'll see that Nike stock dropped. Their stock dropped. And you had all these videos going viral of people deciding to burn their Nike tennis shoes and their gear. Okay, now that wasn't really smart because you paid that money. Okay, so now you got to go out and buy new shoes, but okay. So, but you had lots of people, showing their videos of them burning their Nike things as, I guess, their form of protest against Nike for supporting Colin Kaepernick. So you had that happening. You have all these things happening. But what I hope you see in the midst of all of what has happened this week, between the people protesting and then what you then also saw a day or two later, is that Nike sales increased. They went through the roof. So again, what I want you to see is that good will always come full circle. When you stand firm, when you believe something and you stand behind it, good things happen. I'm sure Colin Kaepernick did not expect this wonderful campaign, but I believe it's a very good one. I think it's a very strong message. And the message is what I want you to gather today. Again, paraphrasing exactly what it says, but in essence it says, just do it, even when it means sacrificing everything. And my challenge to you is, are you committed enough to the thing that you're trying to do that you will let it stand the test of time, that you will be able to stand the test of time and be able to stand against the backlash that may potentially come? Now, are the things that we stand for as big or as as public as what we've been seeing with Colin Kaepernick? Likely not. But it feels big to us. And what I would encourage us to do, and I say us, not just you, us to do, is to believe, to stand strong, and at the end of the day, just do it. That's all I have for you today. Again, this is Christy Demetrakis, the author of Faith to Conquer Fear, Inspiration to Achieve Your Dreams, and Faith to Conquer Fear, The Journey. I hope you'll join me again next week. I hope you'll share this week. But I hope you'll join me again next week for more inspirational topics to help you build your faith, increase your confidence, and what's the last thing? Conquer your fears. All right, we'll see you next week.